Hi there, and thank you for clicking on my video. Uh, this video is going to be talking about um, Frost and his modding for the Archon mods. Not gonna lie, it's not very interesting. Out of all the Archon mods, he can only proc one, and I'm not even mad at it. So if this is the first time you've seen the Archon mods or aren't sure what they do, let's just go over what they are, and we'll cover the one that's actually relevant to Frost. Okay, so Archon Vitality. It's the same health as Vitality, but it comes with an extra trigger, or a trigger at all compared to regular Vitality. Status effects from abilities that deal heat damage will be applied twice. Um, so this is going to give you 2 heat procs for the price of 1 if you have an ability that deals heat. Frost is all cold damage, so this is gone. Archon Continuity. Same duration as regular or as prime continuity, but this one has an effect where abilities that inflict toxin status will also apply a corrosive status effect. Again, frost is cold, so it's gone. Archon Intensify, 30% ability strength. It matches up with regular Intensify, but it comes with an extra condition. Restoring health with abilities grants plus 30% ability strength. This is the closest one that Frost could hope to trigger, besides the cold one. But Frost does not have healing on him. That being said, you can helmet on a heal. And with the other ones also, you can helmet on a helmet that does heat damage. But in terms of innate non-helmet abilities, he doesn't have the ability to heal himself. So if you're playing solo, you can't trigger this, so it's gone. Archon Stretch, plus 45% ability range. Abilities that heal or deal electricity damage. This does not require a status effect like the heat and toxin one. This just requires electricity damage at all. This is the easiest one to trigger. And it's going to be the difference is that it's going to be really effective for stat sticks. Because say for like Atlas's landslide, you can mod for like a huge viral or radiation weighting on the stat stick and then throw on like a 15% electricity mod. So it's not existent at all. And it will count this. So this is pretty effective on Atlas, but not for Frost cuz he's cold. So he can't trigger this. And also the energy over time doesn't count during channeled abilities, so it's normal. Archon Flow, the mod pretty much made for Frost. Uh, Same energy as Prime Flow. So if you don't have Prime Flow and you've gotten to the point in the game where you can get these, um, this would be an easy replacement on its own for Prime Flow. If you haven't been around Barrow or you haven't had the chance to get it, or you haven't been able to pick it up off of another player off the market, this would be a replacement for Flow, and it's just going to cost you one more capacity. So all you would have to do is literally just rank it to 9, and it would be the same capacity. Um, so this could be a potential replacement because you're not going to care about the difference between a rank 9 and a rank 10. So this could be a replacement for Prime Flow. Um, and the ability, any ability has a cold ability that kills. So, like electricity, you do not have to kill with a cold proc, but there has to be cold on the ability. And the how this is going to proc is okay. So you have freeze. This would proc it. You have ice wave. This would proc it. Snow globe would not. And avalanche is clearly going to proc it. So basically, how this works and how I've mentally wrapped my mind around this is, let's say this for the scenario, because it seems useless. 10% chance to drop an energy orb. I couldn't find in the official DE drop tables what the chance of an energy orb was dropping. So I found 3 reputable places, semi-reputable. So just consider this bro science. Energy orbs, the best that I could find, have on average a 10% drop chance, little more, from an enemy, and about a 13% drop chance from a crate. So here's the scenario. Let's say this triggers, okay? And you're going through and you're doing the mission, and then you're waiting for the cooldown. It's 10 seconds. You're running to the next group of enemies. You're going through the tile set. And now the cooldown is gone. The icon in the top right, that's a little little bolt, and I'll show it when it triggers, goes away. What happens now is you essentially have a 10% chance additional for getting an energy orb. Well, if you have a 10% chance already, I guess I could do the math on this since it's so important. It's not straight additive, but it's like having, if you have a 10%, hold on. So if you have a 1 in 10, so 0.1, was it 1 in 10? It's almost double. It's such a small difference. It's almost double chance to proc because it's two independent 10% chances attempting to trigger. So you basically have double until this triggers. So instead of having to kill on average 10 enemies, if this is off cooldown, you basically have a 20% chance of getting an energy orb. On top, a second energy orb on top of a normal energy orb, because they're independent. They don't trigger at the same time. But in terms of, I need an energy orb as fast as possible, you basically have two 10% chances to trigger an energy orb from every enemy that you have until this triggers. So it'll just like keep rolling theoretically until it finally triggers. So it's not bad. I mean, what does this come down to? So you have 6 times. Let's say you're killing all the time, and it's essentially, if you're killing all the time in like a survival, at max, this is another 150 energy a minute. That's not nothing. But in terms of like modding, I mean, are you really not running flow on Frost? If you're spamming abilities, you're probably running flow. So you might as well just slot this anyway. And it's only 1 extra capacity. So let's show how it triggers. Okay, we'll use these guys. And it's pretty straightforward. Actually, let me... Okay, so it triggers up here. Oh, and also it's another chance to trigger Arcane Energize. I should have said that. It's that little lightning bolt, and it's literally just an energy orb. It's not even like a special energy orb. So you're not going to see the difference. It basically... I think it's a little bit bigger model-wise, but you don't get any... like, it looks like a normal energy orb. You don't get any more energy from it. Like, I was thinking, like, maybe it would be, like, say, like 50 energy or 100 energy, and that's just not the case. It's 100 energy. Or, it's the normal energy amount. Alright, let me take off Energize. And we'll see if we can spot the energy orb. Alright, I'm not seeing any energy. Cool. Okay, it triggered. Oh, this is going to be easier. Okay, so one of these 3 energy orbs. So you can't tell which one, and one of these 3 is the drop. So I'm going to go over one at a time. Okay, 25. 25. 25. So there's no difference. And normally I haven't been doing that, but I know that there's a couple of frost mains. So just trying to sell the mod as much as possible. And not that it would matter too much, but this does have interaction with Desecrate. So I don't know how much that matters, because honestly, if you're using this and you have a Necros on your team, you're probably not worried about energy. But just saying, there's that interaction. But the cooldown, I know it seems kind of troll, having 10 seconds. But honestly, I don't mind it. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. Because 10 seconds, like, think about the gameplay aspect of it. Like, say you're on the Zeramon. You're running from one big room to big room. So basically, every time you get to a new big room, you're going to have a charge waiting for you. And even when you're in the, like, running around and shooting stuff, it's constantly going to be up. And 10 seconds just isn't that long. Like, what's the timer on Energize? So 150 every 15. So let's do the math. 15-second cooldown. Let's just assume, for the sake of argument, Energize triggers perfectly every 15 seconds. So it's 150 times 4. So it's 600. Come on. So it's 600 energy a minute with no cooldown and absolutely perfectly executed. And flow is 25 every 10. Or archon flow is 25. It's a quarter of an energize. If everything triggers perfectly, it's a quarter of an energize. Like, do I even need to go check what Warframe Market says an arcane energize is? The passive on this mod is worth 472 plat. Okay. It's worth 472 plat. If people are actually buying for that godforsaken price, 1888p for an arcane energize rank 5, the mod is worth a quarter of it. It gives a quarter of the energy. So the add-on for this mod, in terms of benefit to the frame, this is a quarter of an arcane energize. So I just don't see the issue with the bonus. And Frost can absolutely abuse this mod. So for the Frost mains out there, rejoice. Your build just got 472p better because he can abuse this mod so well. So it's up to you. Obviously, if you don't want to farm for it and you just don't care to slot it, or you don't have the spare capacity, that is a thing for you. But for your consideration, the passive on this is not bad because frost does not have an issue triggering the cold because you only have to kill enemies. So you're gonna have to kill with your abilities. So it's food for thought. Obviously this is gonna be more low level, but to say the passive isn't garbage, or to say the passive is garbage is just unfair. Because if this is garbage, then Arcane energizes 4 times the garbage, right? So it is what it is. But anyway, y'all have a blessed day. This is it for Frost. The passive isn't crap as long as you can meet the condition. Um, and just as sort of a word of encouragement, test the frames with exalted weapons. This mod is easily triggerable with it. If you mod like for cold, so if you do like radiation cold or something, or like corrosive cold, if you're sourcing your viral from like the Panzer or something, you have flexibility in your build. You could do like a corrosive cold, and your exalted weapon would trigger this on cooldown basically. So in terms of like raw damage, maybe you would have to adjust your build for that. But the if you can meet the cold condition like Frost can so easily, and you kill with abilities, it is super easy to trigger this mod. And it's in terms of what it's worth a quarter of an arcane energize, and people are paying $1,800 for that crap. But anyway, there you go. Have a blessed day, guys.